So West Ham have officially announced their second summer signing in goalkeeper Wes Foderingham. The 33-year-old will join West Ham on a free transfer following the expiry of his Sheffield United contract, which will happen on the 1st of July. He did feature for Sheffield United 30 times in the Premier League during the last season. However, it wasn't a great season for Sheffield United or Wes Foderingham. Now, this is an interesting one because on paper, it doesn't feel like it's a great signing. It doesn't give you a huge amount of joy. There's no, overwhelmment by it. I'm underwhelmed by it. Essentially, though, if you start to build up the reasons why we've possibly signed a player like Wes Foderingham, is because we have pushed out the door Nathan Trott. Now, I'm all for giving youth an opportunity at West Ham, but if you're going to be third choice, there's no point for the youth player to be third choice. There's no benefit to the player to sit on the bench. There is absolutely no benefit. The best thing we can do for any of the youth players who are still in and around the West Ham setup is to send them out on loan to go and get the experience. So it makes sense to have a third choice keeper who's got Premier League experience within his career. And that's why Wes Foderingham will come into West Ham. We'll have Areola as number one, Fabianski as number two, and Wes Foderingham as number three. Now, he has won trophies at both Rangers and Swindon Town, the Football League Golden Glove, Premier League Save of the Month winner, and he's played nearly 500 senior matches. And like I said, he will provide a bit of competition, but not probably take over the mantelpiece there. So what Wes has said about joining West Ham is it feels brilliant to be a Hammer. As soon as I heard of the interest, it was something that was keen to get sorted and get done, and I'm just delighted to be here. I've been fortunate to play for teams with real strong fan base, a fan base that's passionate about their club, and West Ham are no different. They're a fan base that care deeply about their football club. It's a family club as well, and I find it's always better to play for the team where you have those supporters cheering you week in and week out. Especially the last few years, the club have had very good success in Europe and in the Premier League as well. And I think the club have gone from strength to strength. And I think I'm joining a very, very good time. It's a positive time for the club. Tim Steidten has been invaluable to West Ham since he's joined the club, and he said himself that we are really pleased to add a goalkeeper. Wes experienced our first team goalkeeping unit. He's had an esteemed career to date, including player at the very highest level of the Premier League last year for Sheffield United. I'm sure under the guidance of Xavi Valero, remember the goalkeeper coach is staying with West Ham, and both Alphonse and Lucas Fabianski. He'll benefit greatly from having another established keeper working alongside them on a daily basis. West Ham have released 8 things we need to know about Wes Foderingham. So if you didn't know this, he wasn't originally a goalkeeper. He was an outfield player when he started kicking a ball around for his local grassroots side. And when the team were short between the sticks one week, he quickly showcased his talent in goals, and that led to him starting out as a goalkeeper. He was one of the first people to play at the new Wembley a little over a month after England's under-21s drew 3-3 with Italy in the first match to be played at the newly constructed Wembley Stadium. The national side's under-16s were given the opportunity to take on Spain in front of nearly 30,000 fans in late April 2007. And Foderingham duly started the 1-0 win for England during that spell. His spells in the non-league helped make his name, with likes of Mark Schwarzer and David Stockdale ahead of him in the goalkeeping ranks at Fulham. When he was a teenager, he took the plunge inside short-term loan deals with National League side Southside Bromley, and at latter stages in the 2009-10 season, in the hope of gaining game time. Upon his release from Fulham at the end of that season, he impressed the pre-season fixture for Bromley against Crystal Palace, so much so that the Crystal Palace offered him a 2-year deal before sending him back to Bromley temporarily. After a further non-league spell with Boreham Wood, Foderingham stepped up to the National League with Histon in 2011, where he made 9 appearances. He has also previously been managed by a West Ham legend. Who is that West Ham legend, you ask? Well, the West Ham legend is Paolo Di Canio, while he was in charge of Swindon Town. So that's an interesting one. He'll know the fiery of the legend Paolo Di Canio. He won 2 trophies when he was with Rangers in Scotland. Mark Warburton, who is known to West Ham, of course, as a coach under David Moyes, signed Foderingham on a 3-year deal with Rangers manager in July of 2015. He made 50 appearances in his first season at Glasgow as Scotland clinched the Scottish Championship and Challenge Cup double, and overall featured 143 times for the club before leaving in the summer of 2020. He signed during the time when Rangers were relegated to the bottom league and had to work their way back up as well. His time north of the border saw him make his debut in European competition against several teams in the Europa League qualifying. He won 2 promotions with Sheffield United, so he's got the Championship mantelpiece behind him. He's worked as an anti-racism ambassador. He's got a long history of working with the Kick It Out and the Show It Racism, the Red Card campaigns. So he's stuck behind that as well. And he's known to commentate games in his head while he is playing. So he reads the game, he understands the game, and he talks the game through as he's playing. So interestingly enough, it'll be really interesting to see how he fits into the setup. But I think essentially it works. Youth is not going to get the chance in the goalkeeping chance, and there's no point in him sitting as number 3. Go out, get the loan, get the experience. He's on a 2-year deal, and then it gives us time now to work on the next stage of our goalkeepers. Anyway, welcome Wes Foderingham to West Ham. Come on, you irons.